What's good, Eagles fans? This is your guy, Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on your dose of chalking up sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. I'm always grateful. Like I always say, you guys, got to start the show with gratitude. I'm grateful to be here with you guys. I'm grateful to be here for another day. I have my mind. I got my wits about me. I got my health about me. You know, haven't received any bad news. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm just grateful, man, for another day. And I'm grateful to be here with you guys, man. Can't take it for granted. As you guys already know, you know the vibes, you know the energy. You guys know how I give it up here. Please make sure you guys stay engaged and make sure you guys are locked in. We're giving you guys pretty much daily content. That's all I know. You feel what I'm saying? That's all I know how to do. All I know how to do is give you my all, man. I don't know how to do this content thing any other way. So I appreciate you guys for locking in the way you guys have. The show has been growing. The viewership has been growing tremendously. The engagement has been growing. We are on a fast track, you guys. We are on the fast track. And I have my own personal goals for this channel. Best believe that I won't reveal here. I believe it's important to keep some of your goals and your ambitions to yourself, right? The last thing you need is any sort of detractors, right? The last thing you want to do is overexpose yourself. And I just appreciate you guys for helping me get towards that goal. Just know that you are instrumental in me reaching my own personal goals here for Chalk It Up Sports, and understand also that I value you and I appreciate you. And we're building this ecosystem. We're building this family here. So I appreciate you guys. All right, man. Again, smash that like button also, right? That like button is currency. That like button is the lifeblood of the YouTube space, right? Without that like button, other people won't be able to find the show, right? The only reason we've been able to grow the way we have is because of you guys staying engaged and interacting with that like button, right? And also you guys committing to the show, right? Subscribing as well. All the engagement, all the traction that you guys provide to the show, especially hitting that like button, it makes sure that new people can find this platform. So I really do appreciate you guys for staying active with that. If you guys can, on the way in, please make sure you smash that like button before you get too comfortable, before you take your shoes off, right? Before you go to the fridge and get something to drink, right? I need you to go say hi to grandma. All right. I need you to go hit that like button for me, okay? You got to take care of the housekeeping before you start having guests over, right? So I appreciate you guys for hitting that like button. Goes a long way. All right. Already we got a super chat, and I will get to that soon, Penn. I appreciate you. Best believe I'll get to your super chat, my guy. Best believe it. And let's get right into the shenanigans, right? I had a game plan for today's show that I'm still going to abide by, but obviously there has been some breaking news when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles, as it pertains to the defense, as it pertains to that defensive back room, that secondary, and we're going to bring it to our guy, James Bradberry. Now, apparently, James Bradberry suffered a significant injury in practice yesterday, and he's apparently going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks at the most. And initially, when I heard the news, I said to myself, oh, we know what this is, right? But then you relax, you get your bearings about you and everything, and then you say to yourself, 6 to 8 weeks, why would they make that part up, right? It's one thing to say, he's out for a week, he's dealing with soreness or cramps, whatever it is, but 6 to 8 weeks, that's something had to really happen, right? Something had to happen, because I had my own conspiracy theories. I will admit, I had my own assertions about what happened, because I tend not to believe the first thing I hear or the first thing I see. I got to be honest with you. I tend not to believe the first thing I see or hear. But nonetheless, the injury must have really been significant for him to be out 6 to 8 weeks. And also, why would the Philadelphia Eagles lie about that, right? Mainly and this is why I say that. Why would they lie about it? Especially if you're trying to trade the gentleman. You can't trade the gentleman if he's hurt. You can't. The brother's trade value goes down the toilet if he's hurt. So the last thing you want to do is put him on your injury report, right? Obviously, you want him to make your roster, right? Which still upholds his value. But when he gets hurt and it comes out that he's out 6 to 8 weeks, that makes it near impossible to trade him. And I think that takes you to the trade deadline. When is the trade deadline this year? Let me double check that. The trade deadline for 2024 is the Tuesday after the Week 9 games. The Tuesday after the Week 9 games, which is November 5th. James Bradberry is supposed to be out 6 to 8 weeks. So he could come back Week 8. He could come back Week 9. Even then, though, it's going to be hard to trade that brother in time for the trade deadline if that was your goal. So I highly doubt the Philadelphia Eagles were trying to make this up. Even though my first initial reaction was, I don't know. But understand that they are practicing leading up to this game, right? Just because training camp and the preseason has ended doesn't mean the football activities have ended. These guys are practicing and preparing for Brazil. And they said he got hurt in the practice, and they said he got hurt in a practice session yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So, unfortunately, it is what it is. And in theory, it does hurt your depth at the position. But quite frankly, I didn't expect James Bradberry to play, if at all, if any snaps. I believe, if anything, this just clears the runway for a guy like Cooper DeJean. This clears the runway for guys like Avonte Maddox and Tristan McCullum, right? It clears the runway for a guy like Sidney Brown, who's going to be coming off of the PUP list after week 4. It just makes your game planning in terms of rotations and your depth chart, it makes it that much easier, in my humble opinion. I think the Philadelphia Eagles will ultimately be fine because James Bradberry was not in the present nor near future of plans. So I think the Philadelphia Eagles will be fine. And although James Bradberry is dealing with dealing with the injury that will keep him out 6 to 8 weeks, that brother's money is secure. James Bradberry signed a very lucrative contract after the 2022 season. And his 2024 salary, his 2024 funds is completely secure. So don't of course you feel for the brother's injury, right? You don't want him hurting. You don't want him sitting on the couch. You don't want him having to go through a rehab, right? That's annoying for anybody. But as far as his financial security, I'm not worried about that brother not one bit. I'm not stressing about that brother not one bit. I'm sorry. You know, my empathy goes but so far. Because again, he is secure. It's not like James Bradberry was here on a 1-year deal, or he's some guy that fought for his roster spot and he's been fighting for it and he's fighting to get paid. Now, James Bradberry has been paid on more than one occasion in this NFL. And James Bradberry is a very, very astute, very smart, very intelligent brother. I know that man has made very smart investments. That brother don't even wear a chain. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't even seen that brother wear jewelry. The most you probably seen that brother wear is earrings, if I'm not mistaken. So I know he's made some smart financial decisions. I know he's good financially. As far as his 2025 money, though, that's where things get a little uncertain. But as far as 2024, that man money is locked in. So he's good. All right. This leaves space for guys like Cooper DeJean, Sidney Brown, Tristan McCullum, Avonte Maddox. This leaves space for them to get on that football field, if you ask me. So, again, shout out to James Bradberry. Hope you get well, brother. Unfortunately, this does hurt his trade value, the team's chance to trade him. He may not get traded this year at all just because of his injury. But nonetheless, it is what it is. We knew that he wasn't in the present plans nor the long-term plans. All right? And I appreciate, and this may be the last time we may not see James Bradberry on this field at all this year. We may have the last of seeing James Bradberry might have been that Patriots preseason game. That may be the last time we saw James Bradberry. So again, it is what it is. Prayers to you, brother. Get well soon. Kick your feet up. Take care of yourself. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. Let me get to these super chats real quick, and we're going to keep going with the show. I really do appreciate you guys. Make sure you smash that like button on the way in. Make sure you smash that like button on the way out. If you're here for a good time or a short time or even a long time, don't matter to me. I'm just glad you're here. Get comfortable. Shout out to my man Penn 9617 with the $1.99 super chat. Thank you, my friend. I really do appreciate it. He says, my man Tone and my man Penn. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much for the love and support. Fresh and clean. What's good, my guy, with the $1.99 super chat? He says, made my second live. Appreciate the hard work, Tone. You already know, man. The goal is to give you guys as much content as I possibly can. The goal is to make sure you guys are well fed. I like to take care of my people the best way I know how. You guys are getting at least 5 to 6 days of content here from me. 5 to 6 days. Who's doing that? We're doing live streams daily, right? There may be 1 day a week where I'm not here. But for the most part, you guys are getting live streams 5, 6 days out of the week for an hour and a half plus. You feel what I'm saying? Who else is doing that consistently like that? So I appreciate you guys for locking in. Fresh, thank you so much for the support. Thank you for your investment, my brother. I'm glad that you found a home here. So let's keep this thing going, you guys. Let's do some shout outs real quick before we get too deep into my game plan for the day. Punjab Kings fan, what's going on? He says they might shut down Bradberry for the rest of the year, to be honest, and save that trade value for next year or keep him fresh if he's not needed. Hey, that's a possibility. It's a possibility for sure. Philly 44 says $20 says Bradberry will be pushed out of here, out there week 5 or week 6, and they'll do a press conference saying how amazing he is. I doubt that, man. I doubt that. Michael Heft, what's going on, my man? Gatekeeper Coley, what's going on? Fanny, what's going on, sweetheart? She says, say what you will about Bradberry, but he holds himself accountable. Facts. Facts. Let's see. Gabriel, what's going on, my man? Philly 44 was good. Trey 979, what's going on, Brody? He says, exactly, Tone. Yeah, man, Bradberry, he's gonna be all right. He's straight. Jameer Adams, my brother, was good. Appreciate you for being here. Jose Serrano, he says no team will even sniff the bait for a Bradberry trade. Absolutely. They'll just wait for him to get cut. They ain't stupid. A James Bradberry trade, in my humble opinion, is out the window. If you're a smart GM, you're just going to wait until he gets cut. Reed says, facts, Tone. Give other players opportunities. Facts. Brian Pumper. Yo, your picture makes me laugh all the time, man. He says, this news came from Bradberry's camp. Anything Howard releases usually goes to Schefter first. Oh, interesting. Gatekeeper Coley says, damn, we need Bradberry. I don't think so. I don't think so. Fanny says it's a tendon in his lower leg. No surgery needed. Well, that's good. Dwight Jones says, let you know Vic can't use him at safety. Nothing new. Well, we knew it was a struggle. The transition was a struggle. That's the reality. The real RMP, what's going on, my brother? He says Browns just released Huntley. Would be a good pickup for backup quarterback. Definitely would be. He's better than Kenny Pickett, I'll tell you that. Or as you guys would say, Kenny Flickett. Fitness Warrior says Area 24. I'm telling you, man, I had my own conspiracy theories when the injury first came across. I had my own conspiracy theories. Keisha White, what's going on? She says, didn't he have a leg injury during minicamp? That did come up. It did. You're absolutely right, Keisha. It definitely did. Eagles fan, what's going on, my guy? War V, what's going on? Welcome to the show, dog. Denied Prince, we back at it. Miguel Lara, we back at it. What's going on? Chin A, Twiz, we back at it, y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. The love is always felt. Y'all are truly, truly one of one. So let me get to my, oh, wow, my man Michael Felder in the building. Big Mike, what's going on, big dog? Michael Felder with the $10 super chat. You know the dope thing about Michael? Sometimes he just come in, show love, and leave it at that. He don't even got to say nothing. He just come in, drop some money on your head top, and say, hey, I'm just here for a good time, player. Do you? I appreciate Michael. That's my guy, man. Thank you so much for your support, big dog. It means a lot. Goes a long way. You are paying my bills. I'll tell you that right now. I'm going to keep it true with y'all. Y'all paying my bills. So let's keep this thing going here. Flexing. Come on, man. Come on, flexing. Be nice. Be nice, flexing. We don't need don't start with your ish, flexing. Don't start with your ish, flexing. Be nice, man. Sounds be nice. Shout out to my man Michael again with the $10 super chat. All right. Let's get to the content. Once again, you guys, before we get too far, make sure you smash that like button on the way in. That like button is currency. The content cannot move forward. The content cannot grow. The channel cannot grow without you guys hitting that like button. So please exercise your power as consumers. Exercise your power as viewers. and loyal subscribers. And hit that like button. It goes a long way, you guys. The like button is truly, truly currency. Truly. All right, you guys. So I had a game plan for today, right? I wanted to revisit the practice squad. The Philadelphia Eagles did release their official practice squad roster, right? I want to go through that with you guys. And then we're going to discuss the Philadelphia Eagles secondary today. We're going to discuss the DB room. I believe the secondary is the most polarizing conversation, or the most exciting conversation that has so much to sink our teeth into, right? A lot of people will say it has a ton of questions. I would agree, but it also has a ton of upside, if you ask me. So the goal for today is to get through the practice squad, discuss that with you guys. Then we're going to discuss the secondary, and then we're going to take it a step further, and we're going to discuss the quarterbacks and the receivers and tight ends that the Philadelphia Eagles secondary will go up against through the first half of the NFL season. All right. So buckle up, stay tuned, stay locked in. You guys know what the vibes is. Smash that like button before you get too comfortable, and we're going to keep this ball rolling. You guys are locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. And if you guys are new, if you don't know me quite yet, my name is Tone DeShields II, and I appreciate you guys for sitting here with me on this afternoon. And for some of you guys, it's still morning, depending on what time zone you in. Let's get this ball rolling, y'all. So the Eagles announced their practice squad, and this year's practice squad consists of quarterback Will Grier, running back Tyrion Davis-Price, wide receiver Paris Campbell, wide receiver Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint, tight end E.J. Jenkins, tight end Jack Stoll, center Dylan McMahon, guard/center Nick Gates, who will likely be your backup center throughout the season. Offensive tackle Laken Vakalahi, who has an international exemption, who was essentially a project for the Philadelphia Eagles. They're trying to coach him up and turn him into a legitimate player, sort of what they did with the Jordan Mailata experiment, right? They're trying to replicate the Jordan Mailata experiment with Laken Vakalahi. And defensive tackle Gabe Hall was added to the practice squad. He was competing directly with Thomas Booker, and Thomas Booker beat him out. Linebacker Brandon Smith. A lot of you guys like him. Orman Burks, linebacker, who kind of came on towards the end. That's why I think the Philadelphia Eagles brought him back. I think they like his athleticism. And safeties Andre Sam and Caden Stearns. Andre Sam was on the team throughout training camp and the preseason. He showed them enough where they wanted to bring him back for the practice squad. He has special teams value for sure. And Caden Stearns, I knew they would bring him back because they signed him knowing he was hurt. They knew that man was limping around, and they knew he couldn't play yet. But they still decided to bring him into the fold. He has a connection to Vic Fangio that dates back to Vic Fangio's Denver days. So that's why you see Caden Stearns on this practice squad list, okay? As a matter of fact, let me make sure I bring it up on screen here for you guys so you can actually have a point of reference. So once again, here is the Philadelphia Eagles practice squad. You have quarterback Will Grier, running back Tyrion Davis-Price. You have wide receivers Paris Campbell and Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint. You have tight ends E.J. Jenkins and Jack Stoll. You have centers Dylan McMahon and Nick Gates, who also has the ability to play guard. Nick Gates will also be your backup center. He has experience, more experience than Dylan McMahon. Dylan McMahon is a project. He still needs to be coached up, but I like his talent. Offensive tackle Laken Vakalahi, who has an international exemption, who essentially is a project for the Philadelphia Eagles. They are trying to replicate the Jordan Mailata experiment. And then defensive tackle Gabe Hall, linebackers Brandon Smith and Orman Burks, and safeties Andre Sam and Caden Stearns, who has that Vic Fangio connection, which dates back to the Denver Broncos days. So there you have it. That's your practice squad. And, you know, it's fascinating, right? The Philadelphia Eagles, or just any team, rather, any team has the opportunity to sign up to 16 players to their practice squad, right? 16 players. But the Philadelphia Eagles, they elected to bring back only 14 players, right? So that leaves 2 spaces open. And quite frankly, I'm really not mad at it. I'm not mad at it for this reason. The Philadelphia Eagles are clearly not just giving away roster spots. They're clearly not just giving away spots on their practice squad. Just because they have a spot to fill doesn't mean they're just going to give it to anybody. And I like that. Just because you have 16 spots on your practice squad doesn't mean you have to use it all. You only want the best players that you can find on your practice squad. You only want to elevate the best players you can find to your active 53-man roster. And at this point, if you ask me, it looks like the Philadelphia Eagles are trying to exercise some level of quality control. Follow me here. It looks like the Philadelphia Eagles are trying to exercise some level of quality control. And think back to the 53-man roster when it was announced, right? You only saw 2 tight ends elevated to the 53. You only saw 1 center elevated to the 53. You only saw 3 running backs elevated to the 53-man. And you only saw 5 wide receivers elevated to the 53-man roster. Typically, teams elevate 6 wide receivers, 4 outside guys, 2 slot guys. Typically, teams have 3 tight ends. You have your starter, you have your possession guy, and you have your guy that you use in blocking situations. And teams typically have 2 centers on the roster: your center, your starter, and your backup guy in the event of an emergency. And then when it comes to running backs, the Philadelphia Eagles historically have always signed or elevated 4 running backs to the active roster. This time they only elevated 3. So that means Tyrion Davis-Price, practice squad; E.J. Jenkins, practice squad; Nick Gates and Dylan McMahon, practice squad, right? Anaya Smith, IR; Paris Campbell, practice squad. They went heavy on the defensive side. 28 defensive players and 22 offensive players. They went heavy on the defensive side. And I like that, because you want to make sure you have enough bodies on that side, especially when you think about how last year went. In 2023, the Philadelphia Eagles dealt with a lot of injuries on defense. They dealt with injuries at linebacker. They dealt with injuries at the secondary level, right? They had some injuries on the D-line. There was a game where Jalen Carter missed. I think there was a game where Josh Sweat missed, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it was Hassan. I can't remember who, but they dealt with their fair share of injuries on that defensive side of the ball. On top of that, your defense was definitely a liability last year. So you want to make sure you're as talented as you possibly can be on that side of the ball. And it starts with that defensive back room. The Philadelphia Eagles elevated 11 DBs to the active roster, 11 of them. And now one of them is hurt, and James Bradberry. So that leaves you with 10. Still not bad. And that 10, quite frankly, I'm not mad about, if you ask me. Those 10 guys after the Bradberry injury, those 10 guys consist of, give me one second, Reed Blankenship, James Bradberry. I'm sorry, let me correct myself. With the James Bradberry injury, in your defensive back room, you have Reed Blankenship, Cooper DeJean, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Avonte Maddox, Tristan McCullum, Quinyon Mitchell, Eli Ricks, Keely Ringo, Isaiah Rodgers, and Darius Slay. I like our odds. I like that room. I really, really do. Again, the Eagles knew they lacked talent and they lacked depth in the DB room in 2023. And quite frankly, they made it very clear that they refused to let that be the case again in 2024. And that brings me to my main topic. But before we do so, I want to get to your comments. Once again, you guys are tuned in to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. If you guys are new to the show, my name is Tone DeShields II, and I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you so much. And on top of that, if you're just hopping in, Make sure you smash that like button. We have over 100 people on the live stream. We only got about 45 likes. Let's try to balance that out, right? Make sure you guys hit that like button. Maybe you guys are working at the time. Maybe you guys are running errands. Maybe you're doing something with the kids, whatever it may be. Maybe you're cutting the grass. Maybe you're doing something. Maybe you're in the shower, whatever you're doing, right? Just make sure you hit that like button when you get the opportunity. It goes a long way, okay? Just understand your power as a consumer. So let's get to some of your comments here. My man Trenton Wright says, watching while I can on my lunch break. Got to go back soon. Absolutely, my man. Make that money, big dog. Make that money. Davon Tyree, what's going on, my man? Hope all is well. DRC says, I like the odds too. Facts. I like our DB room. I like our odds. Again, this DB room is going to be a work in progress. They're going to develop as the season goes, and we're going to get into that. Trust and believe. Fanny, the Eagles fan, she says defense going to be in a heavy rotation, so they can get some rest in between defensive snaps, especially on the defensive line, especially that defensive line. Hold on one second, you guys. I'm trying to set up a guest for tomorrow. Give me 1 second, you guys. Trying to set up a guest. All right. Give me 1 second. Yeah, all right, so we're back at it. Trey979 says we definitely going to be in shootouts this year. Smart to load up on defense. Let's platoon guys and rest. Yeah, I think starting off, again, the DB room is going to be a work in progress. The defense as a whole is going to be a work in progress as the season goes. But I think they will get better about time playoff time comes. Flexing and Stepping says defense will be better than the offense. Really? Oh, you're talking about early on. Michael Heff says, what happened to the running back Milton? They didn't bring him back. Philly 44 says, I think Laurie told them to keep Bradberry. That's the only thing that makes any sense. There's no way anybody watched his play and said he's better than guys that would be cut from other teams. And also, there's money tied to him, man. Fanny says they were strategic in picking these practice spot players. Absolutely. 63 Mortis, my man, he says a nice and Albert O on the IR. Absolutely. Let's see here. Rock the Artist, what's going on, bro? Fanny says, what safety are they going to bring up for Bradberry, do you think? I don't think they bring up anybody, quite frankly. I think they're fine. I wouldn't be surprised if that spot is just reserved for Sidney Brown. They do got to bring up Nick Gates, though. So it does open up a spot for him. Nick Gates is the backup center. Philly 44 says, I heard Bradberry made the team because he makes the best lasagna. I love lasagna, man. Donnie 4 says Tristan McCullum was all over the field. Yeah, I like Tristan McCullum a lot. I like Tristan McCullum a lot. G Dragon says, chalk it up going to the moon. You already know, big dog. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Punjab Kings fan says, Tone, love your content. Thank you, my man. I'm glad you were able to find the content, too. I really do appreciate that. Austin says, Flexing be talking crazy. Flexing crazy, man. Flexing is a borderline psychopath. And I mean that with love. Flexing. You know how I give it up, okay? But you are borderline. Oh, man. But I appreciate you guys, man. Means a lot to me. Means a lot to me that you guys are here. Means a lot to me that you guys are here. Flexing says, nah, I'm real. Oh, okay. All right. Real crazy. I tell you that. You real crazy. Oh, but all right, let's get back to the show, y'all. Again, I appreciate y'all. Smash that like button. You guys know what we're doing. Like my man G Dragon said, we're going to the moon here at Chalk It Up Sports. Stay locked in. The show only gets better. So, like I said, the Philadelphia Eagles knew they lack talent and depth and athleticism at that DB room in the secondary in 2023, and they refuse to let that be the problem in 2024. So that brings me to my primary topic today. And that is that I believe the Philadelphia Eagles secondary has real potential to be one of the best in the NFL. And the operative word is potential. Potential is unrealized talent. Potential is unrealized expectations, right? So understand the perspective I'm speaking from. I'm speaking from the perspective of the unknown, but also from the perspective of optimism, right? Understand my angle before you try to kill my perspective. All right. I believe this Eagles secondary has real potential to be one of the best in the NFL. Here's why I say this. You may agree, you may disagree. This is why we have a show. This is why we deliberate. This is why there's a live chat. Let's keep this thing going. The commitment that Howie Roseman has showed to rebuilding those position groups, the safety position and the cornerback position, the commitment he's shown to rebuilding those positions for the now and the future truly, truly needs to be appreciated. Really think about this. After the James Bradberry situation last year, after the season he had, and also after the amount of injuries that they sustained in 2023, Howie Roseman, he had no choice but to hedge his bet. He had no choice but to double dip into the cornerback pool in the draft. He had no choice but to look in the mirror and say, we are not good enough at the position. And quite frankly, we're not young enough. We cannot continue to rely on cornerbacks that are aging out, right? Darius Slay, he's going to be 33 this year. This could very well be his last season in Philadelphia. The writing is definitely being written on the wall. This could be his last year. See, Flexing, you're not listening. You're not listening, Flexing. You're not listening. You're not listening. Unless you're talking about Niners all damn day. Unless you're talking about Niners all damn day. In that case, yeah, screw the Niners. Screw the Niners and everybody that love them. But again, after the season James Bradberry had and all the injuries they had at the position, got you, Flexing, got you. My bad, Flexing, my bad, Flexing. I got you. That's my fault. I'm a little antsy right now. My guy. I'm on edge. The season is here. I'm ready to rumble. I'm sorry, man. If I smell a op, I'm going at him. I'm sorry. My fault, brother. So James Bradberry had the season he had. Darius Slay, he's getting up there. And on top of that, remember, Darius Slay had that surgery on the back end of the season, right? And throughout the season, James Bradberry was dealing with that. I mean, not James Bradberry. Darius Slay was dealing with that knee all year long. Remember? It was nagging. And then he waited until Matt Patricia took over to get that surgery. Nonetheless, Howie Roseman saw where things were trending with that Philadelphia Eagles secondary, and he doubled down on rebuilding it and reloading it. You cannot rely on a 33-year-old and a 31-year-old corner and Darius Slay and James Bradberry respectively. You cannot rely on those guys. You have to make sure you have enough talent, enough depth, and enough upside and athleticism at those positions. So I want to go through, again, we went over this earlier, right? The secondary as it is today. And obviously Bradberry is hurt. But as of right now, this secondary, which I'm very confident in, by the way, you have Darius Slay and Isaiah Rodgers on the outside. You're going to have Quinyon Mitchell, who's playing the slot, but who also can play the outside. You also have Kelee Ringo, who can play the outside as well, who's trending up fast. You have Cooper DeJean, who can play the nickel and who can also play a hybrid role at that safety position. You have Avonte Maddox, who's going to be slotted as a safety this year, but can also play the nickel. And he's not going to be playing starter reps. So therefore, his health shouldn't be a problem. And then Eli Ricks, the young developmental piece, who plays outside corner. And then you get to your safety position, right? You have C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who can play the safety position and also can play the nickel spot, right? He's versatile, and he brings a ton of swag, a ton of juice, a ton of confidence and fervor to the DB room, to the defense as a whole. Then you get the Reed Blankenship, who is a tackling machine, still has to prove his weight in gold in coverage. Still has to prove that we can trust him in coverage consistently, and still has to prove that he can be healthy consistently. But Reed Blankenship at safety, playing close to the line of scrimmage, being a box safety, he's a tackling machine. I like him there. Tristan McCullum, a prospect that I really like, who was graded very highly throughout training camp and their preseason by PFF. I think throughout the preseason, Tristan McCullum was graded with having a 78.4 or 78.5 rating, which is not bad for a guy who is not really supposed to be a starter. Not bad for a guy who's a developmental piece. And then, obviously, James Bradberry, safety, he's injured, going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. So as of right now, you have 10 guys really that are active that you can utilize in some shape, way, or form. I like our odds. I'm sorry if some people still have their own reservations, and I understand it. At the end of the day, like I said, the operative word through my entire argument is potential. And potential is unrealized talent. Potential is untapped talent. Potential is unrealized expectation. But I think with the amount of talent you have here, the amount of athleticism, the draft pedigree, the versatility you have, I believe that they have a strong chance to be one of the up-and-coming secondaries in the NFL. One of the secondaries that you're going to have to start to pay attention to in the NFL. And according to my man Malcolm 2.0, James Bradberry just got put on IR. Let me double check that. James Bradberry just got put on IR, if I'm not mistaken, according to my man Malcolm 2.0. Yes, it's official. James Bradberry has officially been placed on IR, which opens up a roster spot. We will see who that goes to. It's likely they go to the center, Nick Gates, right? It's likely that happens. Let me read some of your comments here real quick. Davon Tyree says Niners are 0-3 in the Super Bowl in this century. That's a fact. Peter Walker says we sent the 49ers home in tears. We did, but they also smacked the hell out of us. Michael Heff says, Sills says they are a bunch of dudes. Listen, I have love for Sills, but his opinion means nothing to me. Got love for him, but his opinion means nothing to me. Everybody got an opinion. I got mine, he got his. Got love for him. Won't ever disparage him on the airwaves, ever. Got love for him, but his opinion means nothing to me. Sorry. Everybody got a job to do. He's doing his, I'm doing mine. Got love for him. His opinion means absolutely nothing to me. Nothing. Just how there's a lot of opinions out there that means absolutely nothing to me. Let's see. Fanny says, I wouldn't trust Reed to guard the sticks. He's just too slow. Yeah, man. Hopefully he gets fast. He got faster, right? Hopefully he got faster. Punjab Kings fan says, Tone, I like Sidney Brown. Do you? Yes, I do. I love Sidney Brown. I love his athleticism. I love how physical he is. If he can just if he can just, put it all together, then I think he'll be straight. Flexing and stepping says Tone on go. No, I'm not. I'm not on go. I'm just being honest. I'm not on go, bro. I'm just being honest. I have my opinion about this situation, and everybody else got theirs. I don't care about everybody else's opinion. I don't. Matt the Fly Angler says, if these edge guys can't get home, we're not even going to know what we got in the defensive backfield for real. You bring up a very, very good point, Matt. You bring up a very good point, and I can't even deny that. That is an absolute fact. This defensive line, they have to dominate at the point of attack. Otherwise, we won't even know what we really got back there. That's a fact. That's a fact. All right, let me get back to my let me see. Let me get back to my notes here. And again, you guys, I'm not here trying to go at nobody. I'm not here trying to disrespect nobody. It's just I don't care about other people's opinions. I don't. Sorry. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I don't care. I don't care. And Flexing, we good, man. You good? You my guy. Ain't about nothing, man. You my guy. There's no love lost. Even though we disagree primarily most of the time, you my guy. just how me and Sills disagree a lot, but that's my guy. I got love for him. We disagree a lot. You saw me on that show, but it's my guy. That's all. That's all it is. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. Where are we? So yeah, right? Entering the 2024 season. And look, I want to put it in perspective for you guys, right? I want to put it in perspective for y'all. Because I know the secondary still has a ton to prove. I understand it. This, and I'm not going to act like it's not a fact. The fact of the matter is, this secondary has a ton to prove. Regardless of how I feel about it, regardless of my expectation, regardless of my passion and my optimism, they have to prove it. And I think they can. And I think they will. Simple as that. Now, I want to put it in perspective for y'all. I want to remind y'all just how hopeless this secondary was at one point. I want to remind y'all just how hopeless and distraught we were when it came to this secondary over the past several years. I'm going to ring off a bunch of names to you guys, right? And I want you guys to tell me how it made you feel having these men on the roster, knowing what we knew, seeing what we saw. I'm going to give you guys a bunch of names from Christmas past. And I'm going to ruffle some feathers, and I'm going to make some of you guys uncomfortable. And I'm going to bring up some very, very turbulent memories for you guys, okay? So follow me here. Stay tuned. The show only gets better. And I'm only going to make you more uncomfortable. With love, of course. With love. So, how many of you guys remember a brother by the name of Sidney Jones? Sidney Jones, a guy that we drafted in the second round that couldn't stay healthy, that couldn't guard a fire hydrant. How many of you guys remember Sidney Jones? Sidney Jones. Yes, that man. We couldn't trust him against nobody. I don't care how fast he was. He couldn't stay healthy. And that speed was shot after he blew his knee out. Yeah. Let's keep it going. How many of y'all remember Russell Douglas when we had him? Now, Russell Douglas, even though we flat out didn't know how to use him, Russell Douglas has carved out a very solid NFL career elsewhere. He had good moments, good years with the Packers, and he's had production. He's had production with the Bills, and he's still on their roster as well. I think the Bills traded for him mid-season. So Sidney Jones, liability. Rasul Douglas, we didn't know how to use him. We didn't know how to use him. He had better production elsewhere. But that means nothing to me because when we had him, we got nothing. We saw flashes, but we got nothing. Let's keep it going, though. Let's keep it going. I'm about to break hearts. I'm about to remind y'all how bad this shit was. How many of y'all remember Crevon LeBlanc? They used to call him Strap. Who the hell was he strapping? I'm sorry. They used to call Crevon LeBlanc Strap. Who the hell was he strapping? Let's take it a step further. And the thing is, Crevon LeBlanc, he would have moments. But he could not string it together. He was not consistent. This is me talking facts. This is not about my feelings here. This is the facts. He showed flashes. He showed moments, but he couldn't string it together. How many of y'all remember? Hold on. This is getting dark, y'all. This is getting dark. How many of y'all remember Craig James? How many of y'all remember Craig James, who was always on again and off of the active roster? And frankly, he was a liability most of the time. Talk to me about Craig James. Yeah, Chin. Yeah. Craig James. Exactly, Cheese. You don't want to remember him. Yes. I'm taking it back. Way back. Davon Tyree, great point. The Byron Maxwell experiment. The Namdi Asamoah experiment. Michael Jaquette, remember that? It's getting spooky. Y'all naming names that I forgot about. I forgot about Byron Maxwell. I forgot about Michael Jaquette. I forgot about those guys. Kerry Williams. Come on, man. CZ said, Tone giving us nightmares. I just want you to understand how far we've come. Punjab Kings fan says, the Eagles just promoted Oren Burks to the 53-man roster. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. Interesting. Yep, it's official. Oren Burks, linebacker, was just promoted to the Eagles' 53-man roster. Okay. All right. Let's get back to it. Like I said, it gets dark. And Michael Felder, I'm gonna get to your super chat, brother. I got you on that. I got you. Thank you so much. How many of y'all remember Ronald Darby? Now, I will say this. Ronald Darby still holds a little special place in our hearts. I know Ronald Darby holds a special place in our hearts. Ronald Darby gave us his all during that Super Bowl run, didn't he? Ronald Darby gave us his all for that Super Bowl run. He maxed out leading up to Super Bowl 52. He maxed out. So I'm not going to sit here and say Ronald Darby wasn't nice when it was nice. Ronald Darby was cool when it was cool. But when it wasn't, my God, it was awful. Ronald Darby became a liability because he couldn't stay healthy, and we know how that ended up. Let me take it a step further. And again, I'm not going to kill Ronald Darby because we got a Super Bowl because of him. He was there. He helped tremendously. He helped elevate that secondary, him and Jalen Mills. I'm a Jalen Mills guy. I don't care what nobody say. I like Jalen Mills. Let's take it a step further, y'all. Let's take it a step further. Let's get real spooky. Let's get real dark. Let's tell some scary stories. You want to see a dead body? How about Josiah Scott? Yes, Josiah Scott. Remember him? Liability, inconsistent, on and off again of the roster. And let's be honest, Ronald Darby gave us 1 year, bro. Don't you dare act like Ronald Darby gave us a lifetime of success. He came in a Super Bowl run, and he was exactly what the doctor ordered during that run, and that was it. But Josiah Scott, liability. Punjab Kings fan with another update. Thank you, Kings fan. He says the Eagles just signed Brett Toth to the practice squad. I saw that coming. Thank you, Kings fan. Davon Tyree says, hey, Tone, remember Nolan Carroll? Oh, my God, Nolan Carroll? See, y'all taking it back. See what I did? I done created a monster. I created a monster. Now I got y'all really thinking. Now I got y'all really going down the rabbit hole. Nolan Carroll. What the hell was that? Josiah Scott. What the hell was that? Kevon Wallace. What the hell was that? And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to keep it real. I was high on Kevon Wallace until I wasn't. I was high on Kevon Wallace until I saw George Kittle kick his ass. Now, I will throw Kevon Wallace some bail. He never, ever could get it done in Philadelphia. He never was somebody we could trust in Philadelphia on the field. But as of right now, it seems like he's began to figure it out on the NFL level. He has become a player that the Seattle Seahawks like, and I think he's been elevated to their 53-man roster. Let me double check that. Let me check the Seahawks depth chart real quick. Let me check that. Because I think Kevon Wallace made their roster. So, yes, Kevon Wallace, he made the Seattle Seahawks roster. He's their backup strong safety. So Kevon Wallace is still getting NFL checks. Proud of him. Make that money, young man. Make that money. It didn't work out in Philly, and we couldn't trust him. Flat out. Shout out to my man Michael Felder with the $10 super chat. He says, not only do we have talent now, but we now have the coaches in the building to teach these guys. Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Now, not only do we have talent, but we got the right coaching to match, Michael. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, big dog, for showing love, donating $20 to the channel. Means a lot to me, bro. Means a lot to you, OG, triple OG. Thank you. Donnell Shipley with the $5 super chat. Thank you. He says, Tone, I got a question. Are you worried that no team picked up any of our players off of the waiver wire, meaning they just ain't good? Well, I don't think that's just the Eagles' issue. Keep in mind, only 26 players were picked up on the waiver wire. Only 26 players were picked up. So that's not just the Philadelphia Eagles thing, my man. The waiver wire was weak this year. Only 26 players got picked up in total. Think about that. Do the math. Between 32 NFL teams, only 26 players were picked up through waivers. That's not just the Eagles' issue. So if I were you, I wouldn't stress about that, Donnell. I wouldn't stress about that in the slightest. Thank you again for donating to the channel, bro. I really do appreciate you, Donnell. It means a lot. All right, so let me get back to the notes. Let's keep this thing going. I'm not finished yet. I'm not finished reminding you how far we've come. I'm not finished. Was it 26 or was it 16? I don't know. Shoot. Regardless, it still proves my point. It still proves my point. 26-16 proves my point. Let me continue to remind y'all how far we've come. Let me continue to remind y'all. Remember Anthony Harris? Anthony Harris. Remember we signed him? He couldn't run. He couldn't run at all. What else? Who else can I think about? Remember Terrell Edmonds? Terrell Edmonds, liability in coverage, could not run. Couldn't run at all. And then we just moved on from Zach McPherson and Josh Jobe. And now we walk into a secondary that has Darius Slay, Isaiah Rodgers, Quinyon Mitchell, Keely Ringo, Cooper DeJean, Avonte Maddox, Eli Ricks, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Reed Blankenship, Tristan McCullum. And you got Sidney Brown waiting to get his shot. I'm sorry. This secondary looks a lot better than it did last year. It does. And I'm standing on that. I'm standing on that one. So forgive me if I'm optimistic. I'm very optimistic about the secondary. Crawley says, Tone, that's cool, but I'm worried about the D-line. I'm not worried about the secondary. I feel you on that. You know, today's focus is the secondary, though, Crawley. Although I understand your perspective, I don't think your perspective is any less valid. But today I'm just focusing on the secondary. So that's why I haven't necessarily addressed it. But we will. We have plenty time until opening night. We have plenty time to address it. But I appreciate you, Crawley, for setting the tone, because you're right. That D-line is something that we have to watch closely. That D-line also, like the secondary, potential, but has a lot to prove. A lot to prove. So like I was saying, y'all, the Eagles secondary, based off of everything I've mentioned, based off of the past we've experienced together, the Eagles secondary has come a long way, and this is the best it's looked in a long time. The room as a whole has gotten much younger and significantly more athletic and talented. Now, like I said to you guys before, although I'm optimistic and I like this room, they got to prove it. They still have to play the game and show the world how good they are, how cohesive they are, how instinctual they are. But I think this room, significantly more athletic than last year, significantly more talented than last year, significantly more versatile than last year. Again, the versatility jumps off the page. You got Quinyon Mitchell, who can play the outside and play the nickel. You got Keely Ringo, right, out there, who can play outside as well. Darius Slay, Isaiah Rodgers, and Keely Ringo and Eli Ricks are your traditional outside corners. But Quinyon Mitchell can play the outside and play the nickel. You got Cooper DeJean, who can play the nickel, but also can play that hybrid safety role. You have Avonte Maddox, who can play the safety and the nickel. You got CJ Gardner-Johnson, who can play safety and nickel. You feel what I'm saying? You got some real versatility here. And your most versatile guys are younger. The young guys are your versatile guys. You feel what I'm saying? Now, before I get to the next segment, I want to get to your comments. Make sure you guys are smashing that like button. Make sure you guys are engaged in the content. We have over 140 people in the live stream. We got 89 likes. Make sure you guys smash that like button. It means a lot to me, goes a long way. It's currency. It's the lifeblood. It's food for the channel, right? Make sure you guys smash that like button. Stay engaged. Stay active. The content only gets better. You guys are tuned in to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. If you guys are new here, I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II, and I'm grateful for you. Grateful for you. You got a ton of options. All of y'all got a ton of options. Yet you're here, kicking it with me. It goes a long way. It goes a long way. All right, let's keep this ball rolling here. Let's read your comments. D. Aldridge says Niners all damn day. Won't worry about paying Ayuk. Yeah, I do need to worry about that. Warv, he says, I feel like we would have put Bradberry out there somehow. I don't like how he's hurt, but now we don't have to worry about seeing him getting burned for a while. Yeah, you're right about that. Jerome Kendrick says, haters going hate. Haters going hate, Tone. Go Birds. Philly dogs coming. I like it. I like it. Jerome Kendrick also says, hey, Tone, we got us one with Jack Saint. Came back from a crazy injury, but here he go. Check him out. He was a big catch. He was a big catch player for us. I'm from Georgia, so I know I watched him every Saturday. Great young man. Oh, okay, cool. Got it. Let me read that again. That was a little choppy. He says, A-Tone, we got us one with Jack Saint. He came back from a crazy injury, but here he go. Check him out. He was a big catch player for us, and I'm from Georgia, so I know I watched him every Saturday. Great young man. Okay, say less. I'm gonna check him out. Say less. Say less. Thanks, Jerome. I appreciate you, big dog. Flexen says Dean can't stay healthy. How is that tripping? Look, Dean has to stay healthy. You know, before we start going crazy about Dean love, and I think Dean has taken strides. He's made strides throughout the offseason and training camp and preseason. He has made strides. But before we start crowning Dean, he got to stay healthy. So Flexen, I agree with you. Before we start crowning Dean and giving him the green dot and saying he's gonna have a Pro Bowl season, he got to stay healthy first and foremost. So Flexing, me and you are eye to eye with that one. Twiz says Ben Van Sumeren is the best linebacker we have. That's an interesting take. Very interesting take. Cody, what's going on, my man? Welcome to the show. You know the vibes. Big Pickin says Jalen Carter and Milton Williams will dictate the pass rush. Vic does it different. I hope so. This has to be a big year for Jalen Carter and Milton Williams. Milton Williams trying to get paid, so I know he's trying to go off. Same thing for Jordan Davis. Crowley says, yeah, the second Dean goes down, if he does, the linebacker room is going to be like in depth again. Well, they just elevated Oren Burks, and they already have 5 linebackers on the roster. So adding Oren Burks makes it 6 linebackers. So they're not going to be lacking depth there. They're going to have plenty of depth, especially if the Philadelphia Eagles utilize a ton of big nickel sets, which basically means you replace one of your linebackers with a safety. Or dime sets, right? Dime is basically, I believe it's dime is 6 DBs on the field, right? 6 DBs, 1 linebacker, and 4 linemen. Jordan Coughlin says, just got here. How you feel about Bradberry getting hurt out 6 to 8 weeks? I mean, it's unfortunate for him. It is very unfortunate for him. But it doesn't hurt our chances in the slightest. So Dope King says, yo, what's good, Tone? Just tuning in. What I miss? There goes that Bradberry trade. I know, right? It's crazy. The injury obviously is unfortunate for all parties involved, but we're basically discussing the upside to the defensive back room. We're discussing the upside to the secondary. Twiz says the linebacker group looking good. Hopefully it pans out, man. Hopefully it pans out. Sorry, you guys. I have a guest that I'm trying to set up for tomorrow. You guys are going to enjoy this one. All right. I got a guest locked in for y'all. Tomorrow, man. A good one. Y'all going to enjoy this. Y'all going to enjoy this one. I got a guest lined up for you guys tomorrow. Okay. So make sure you guys stay locked in. I have a great guest lined up for y'all. A great one. All right. Let's see what we got here. Fanny says the secondary will pick up where D-line lacks. We just need people who can get home. See, that's the thing, Fanny, right? Like these DBs, the linemen, they have to get home in some shape, way, or form. Also, and by the way, I'm going to get to your $10 super chat. Where is it? Roland, I'm going to get, let me just get to it right now. Roland says, just showing love, go Birds. Roland with the $10 super chat. Roland, thank you so much, my man. I really do appreciate your investment in the channel. It means a lot to me, my guy. Thank you so much. It goes a long way. You helping paying my bills. Thank you, my guy. Thank you. All right, let me get back to Fanny's comment because Fanny says something interesting that I want to get to. Where is it? Where are you, Fanny? Here it is. Fanny says the secondary will pick up the D-line. We just need people who can get home. So here's the thing, right? I've been thinking about this. And shout out to the good brother Pro Fan Talk. Shout out to my man, Marcus Thomas, former Eagles running back. Shout out to him. He put it in perspective for me. He basically said, over the past couple years, the Philadelphia Eagles relied on talent to get sacks. They relied on talent. They relied strictly on talent to get home, right? He said, look, now that you got Vic Fangio and you have a ton of athleticism at the linebacker position now, you got a ton of athleticism at the safety position. He said, now the sacks, the pressure isn't just going to be generated off talent. The pressure and the sacks is going to be generated schematically. And that really made me think. That made me think about how unique the Eagles can become with who they send as a blitzer or who they send as their four-man pass rush, right? It really opened my eyes. It made me think outside the box in terms of how pressure and how sacks can be generated. Because if you're generating pressure from all across the damn field, right, and the quarterback and the offensive line can't really pinpoint where it's coming from, you can really get a lot of sacks like that. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think the Chiefs, and I want to make sure I got this right, I don't know if the Chiefs had a double-digit sack guy last year. Maybe it was Chris Jones, but I don't know if the Chiefs had anybody that got double-digit sacks last year. I could be wrong, though. Let me double-check that. Where is it? Okay, yeah. Okay, so listen to this. I'll take it back. So the Chiefs, they had two guys get double-digit sacks last year. Chris Jones had 10.5 sacks, and George Karlaftis had 10.5 sacks. But outside of those two guys, they were getting sacks from everybody. They were getting sacks from guys like Charles Omenihu, Michael Dana, Drew Tranquil, who's a linebacker, Justin Reed, who's a safety, Leo Chenal, who's a linebacker. Trent McDuffie got sacks as a corner, right? Jalen Watson got sacks as a corner. Mike Edwards got a sack as a safety. Willie Gay. They were getting sacks from everywhere, but they still had their dominant pass rushers, right? They still had Chris Jones, who led them in sacks. That could be Jalen Carter for us, right? What Chris Jones did for the Chiefs defensive line, Jalen Carter can be that guy getting 10 sacks, right? And then as far as the other guy, George Karlaftis, who I loved out of Purdue, George Karlaftis got them 10.5 sacks. That could come from Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff got you 10 sacks last year with the Jets. You think Bryce Huff can't get 10 sacks with more opportunities this year? Right? And then at that point, you can get the sacks from anywhere, schematically. The Chiefs generated a ton of sacks schematically as well. So I think we need to open our bandwidth here. We need to open our purview and acknowledge that we can get sacks from more ways than just our 4 down linemen. You feel me? Josh Sweat, you feel me, Big Pickin'? Yeah. So I don't want us to think too narrowly about where the sacks can come from or where the pass rush can come from. Let's open our scope here. Vic Fangio can schematically generate that pressure from so many different angles, so many different ways. And I think that's what we're going to see here from this defense. Remember, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. even mentioned in his press conference, he mentioned how what he loves about this Vic Fangio defense is the fact that not only are the linebackers dropping back in coverage, the linebackers are being sent as blitzers. Pressure is being generated from everywhere. They're being taught to disguise everything. So I just want us to open our scope a little bit and not just think narrowly about, oh, if this defensive line doesn't get pressure or if they don't get sacks, we're screwed. We're going to see a variety of combinations and a variety of packages and how the Philadelphia Eagles generate pressure. And I think that's what we got to keep our eye on for the 2024 season. S. Blunt, what's good, big dog? Let's see what we got here. My man Jordan Coughlin says, everyone smash that like button for Tone. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. It means a lot to me. Thank you. All right, let's see here. Cheese says Milton Williams will throw in 5 or 6 sacks. Yeah, I think he can do that. James Jones says my flight to Los Angeles is here. Hey, have a safe flight, James. Have a safe flight. Have a safe trip as well. Flexing and Steppin says Devin White is not getting 10 sacks. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think Devin White is getting 10 sacks. I think that's way overzealous. You know, if Devin White can get you 4 sacks, that's a win. You're like, he's not really there to get sacks, but he is a strong pass rusher though. He is a good blitzer. But 10 sacks from Devin White, that's a blessing. He's not getting 10 sacks. I agree with you, Flexing. Wow, Flexing, you and I are agreeing a lot today. Must be the Twilight Zone. Let's see here. Punjab Kings fan says Nolan can get 5+ sacks. He can. He definitely can. Donald Rome says the success of the D-line is not on Davis to get sacks. It is him drawing doubles and triple teams and occupying the O-line. Absolutely. That's not why he's there. He's not there to get sacks. Now, if he gets one, that's a plus. If he gets one, that's a plus. But that's not why he's there, really. Let's see what else we got here. The big dog, S. Blunt, says we need to speed up Love early in the game and rattle him. Don't let him get confidence. I agree 100%. If I'm Big Fangio, I'm testing him. I'm blitzing on the first play. I'm testing him. I'm sending an extra man. I want to see how good that offensive line is. I want to see where his clock is. I'm testing him right away. I'm sending somebody to try to get a free release. I'm sending somebody to get a free guy. If I can get a free release, I'm smacking him. And even if I don't sack him, I want him to feel me. I want him to feel me. So I'm with you on that, S. Blunt. We got to speed up his clock early and rattle him. You got to get paws on him fast. Don't let him drop back and get confidence. Also, remember, they got Josh Jacobs now. So they're going to try to run the ball more. All right. Let me get to my second let me get to my other segment now, my other topic for you guys. So I'm really glad S. Blunt brought up the Packers. I'm really glad he did that. Shout out to my man S. Blunt. I'm really glad he brought up the Packers because what we're going to do here is we're going to get into some of the quarterbacks and receiving cores that the Philadelphia Eagles will have to face through the early onset of the 2024 season. So we're not going to go through the whole schedule, right? But we're going to go through week 8. We're going to go from week 1 to week 8, and we're going to discuss the level of quarterback and the level of receivers that the Philadelphia Eagles will have to face. And we're going to decide how confident we are. Okay? So let's do that. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show, especially if you're new. My name is Tone DeShields II. Thank you guys so much for showing love the way you guys have. It means a lot to me. It means a great deal to me. All right. So, before I do so, let me get to the super chat. Vonnie outside. Thank you so much, my man. Let me give you a wrench, my brother. My man Vonnie with the super chat. Let me take care of you, brother. You take care of me. Let me take care of you. Let me make sure I get you a wrench. If you're unfamiliar, the wrench gives you power in the live stream. If anyone is being disrespectful, if anyone is disrupting the energy of what we're doing here, if anyone is violating anybody in terms of being disrespectful, racist, prejudiced, sexist, whatever it may be, if anyone is just completely throwing off the chemistry of the live stream, Vonnie, you have the power to time that person out along with everyone who has a wrench. And you're going to notice other people have wrenches as well, Vonnie. So thank you again, Von, for donating $4.99 to the show. He says, this is the first time I've ever donated on YouTube. Found your channel through Laura Brunson and thought you were a breath of fresh air. Keep up the great content. Vonnie, thank you so much, bro. Thank you. Shout out to my brother, Laura Brunson, man. That's my guy. Man, LB, that dude is giving me a ton of game, a ton of insight. I got a lot of love for him, man. Truly. I got a lot of love for Laura Brunson. That's my man. Truly. Whenever he call, hey, I'm jumping. That's my man. And whenever I need him, he's always shown up for me. That's another thing about Laura Brunson that's thorough that a lot of people probably don't talk about. You know, I know he'd be on Twitter and he'd be going at anybody who will op. And I love it, right? I love how Laura Brunson is the enforcer of our fan base. And I love that, right? I love his energy. What a lot of people don't know about Laura Brunson is that he is truly a giving human being. Laura Brunson gives his time, he gives his effort, his resources. Laura Brunson really is a man of the people, and he really like to see other people win. A lot of people don't know that about him. He show a lot of love to people, and he truly want a lot of people to win. So, Laura Brunson really, again, my man showed me a lot of love, and all I can do is show it back to him. Got so much love for that brother, truly. So shout out to Laura Brunson, and shout out to you, Vonnie, for being a supporter of Laura Brunson and then finding my content. Thank you, brother. I really do appreciate you, man. Thank you. All right, let's keep this thing going here. So, thank you, Punjab. Thank you, Punjab Kings fan. Thank you. So, like I said to you guys, I want to go through the Eagles matchups from week 1 to week 8. And we're going to discuss the quarterbacks and the receivers that the Eagles are going to have to face throughout those several weeks, okay? We're not going to do the whole season. We're just going from week 1 to week 8. We're basically going through the first half of the season. And I want to get y'all perspective, right? Because I did a lot of talking. I want to get y'all perspective from, or as it pertains to the Eagles matchups. All right. Shout out to my man Infamous 2K with the $1.99 super chat, bro. Thank you so much, my man. You know I got love for you, my man, even though we disagree a lot. We disagree a lot, but I got a lot of love for Infamous 2K. That's my man. He been rocking with me since the beginning. He been rocking with me since I was, man, he been rocking with me since I was doing this out of my apartment. Whoa, 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 Nelly. Whoa. Whoa. Mark Fripp with the $4.99 super chat. He says, we don't run into an elite wide receiver core until Tampa in week 4. Shout out to Laura Brunson. I'm definitely subscribed. Mac Fripp, thank you so much for your $4.99 super chat, bro. Thank you. It means a lot to me. Thank you, Mac. And you're right. I agree. That Tampa Bay receiving core is going to be legit. But whoa, infamous. Bro. Yo. Infamous, brother. My God. I am humbled. I'm grateful. And I couldn't be more thankful for you donating this level of a super chat. This is something you absolutely do not have to do. I'm grateful when people donate $1, $2, $5. Yeah, I'm grateful when people donate 99 cents. But for Infamous 2K to donate $100 here, I am so grateful to this young brother. This young man is on his way to college. He's been supporting my content since he was in high school. Me and him have agreed. We've disagreed. We've argued. We've talked shit to each other. But I truly got a lot of love for Infamous because one thing I will say about him, he is consistent. Except for when he changes team every year. Except for when he changes team every year, he's consistent with how he views the game. Infamous 2K is very smart when it comes to football. I will always acknowledge that. Infamous knows the game. He knows the game. And he knows boxing as well. So I got to give Infamous so much love for donating this amount of his own personal money to the show. Damn, Infamous. Damn. He says, I've only sent 3 super chats ever. This is my 4th, and I wouldn't want it to go anywhere else but my second home, Chalk It Up Sports. And hail to the Commanders. Infamous. You know what, man? I'm going to let you get that off. You donated $100. You can talk about the Commanders all you want. You donated $100, a bean, a hundo. You donated a man. You feel me? Damn, Infamous. Wow. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. I'm truly grateful to this. You rock. You threw me for a loop there. Now I don't know if you I know you started college. I don't know if this cuts into your meal plan. I don't know if this cuts into your cafe dollars. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know what this cuts into, Infamous. I don't know what this cuts into. But I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Thank you, brother. I know you're in college. Make sure you still got money to wash your clothes. Make sure you still got money to put food in the pantry. All right? I'm grateful for $1.99. But I'll take $99.99 too, brother. Thank you, brother. Let me get to these other ones, man, because y'all on fire right now. Again, Infamous 2K he just wrecked it. How, Infamous 2K did what Hassan Reddick did to the Niners. Infamous 2K with this super chat, he just did what Hassan Reddick did to Brock Purdy. He wrecked the game. He just wrecked the championship game. He wrecked it. He wrecked it, man. He just did what Hassan Reddick did to the Niners. He wrecked it. So shout out to my man Infamous, man. I really do appreciate you, bro. He says, nah, Tone, I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. All praise to God. I appreciate you looking out. Of course, man. I appreciate you. All right, let me get to these other super chats, man. My man, B More. What's going on, B More? He says, yo, Tone, Steve from Gate City brought the fire about Jalen Hurts. Man, I saw you check in, brother. I got you. Yeah, man. I love Gate City. I love Steve. That's my man. Steve was on the show last week, I think. Last week or the week before. I had Steve on. That's my man. Got a lot of love for Steve. I love his insight. I love how smart he is and how he dissects the game. So I lean on Steve a lot. I lean on Gate City a lot, man. And thank you for your $10 super chat, B More. I really appreciate you, big dog, OG. I really appreciate you. Got a lot of love for all y'all, man. I appreciate all y'all that's been donating today. Shoot, y'all on fire right now. Y'all on fire right now. And did you guys know, I don't know if you guys knew this, but this is B Moore's 20th super chat. So let's celebrate B Moore donating to Chalk It Up Sports for the 20th time. The 20th time. It's your 20th anniversary, B Moore. And hopefully it ain't your last one, big dog. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. And let's get to Jason 18. Jason 18 with the $20 super chat. Hey, listen, Jason saw Infamous donate $100 and he said, hold on, wait, Infamous. I can't donate $100, but I got a dub for him. I got a dub. Shout out to my man Jason. He says, Tone, we always had your back. Excited for the season to start. You never steered us wrong. We stay loyal. You know what? I'm glad you said that, bro. I try my hardest not to give out false information. I try my hardest to be as honest, as real, as authentic as I can be. I promise you, as I am in front of this camera, this is exactly how I am in real life. Anybody, and trust and believe, right? Listen to this, 18. Not only do you guys watch this show, I got family that watch this show. My parents watch this show. My mom, my dad, my brother, my brothers, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my friends from high school, my friends from college, my friends from elementary school, middle school. You feel what I'm saying? I got people from my real life that watch this show. You think I could come on here and not be me? You think I could come on here and not carry it how I carry it in real life? This is literally me. Like this passion, this energy, this fervor, this mentality that I have, how I carry myself in real life. This is me. And I'm so glad that you guys acknowledge that and realize that and appreciate that. There's no way I could come on here in this camera in front of hundreds of people and fake the funk. I got too many people in real life that watch this show. I'll be damned if I go to the cookout and my mom say, hey, Tony, you showing off or you're not being yourself. I'll be damned if my brother say, yo, bro, your show is growing, but bro, why do it seem like you trying to be somebody else? What if I'll be damned if my dad say, yo, son, I see what you're trying to do, but it seemed like you trying to be something you're not. I could never. I got real people in real life that tune into this. I could never fake the funk. I got to keep it player. So shout out to my man Jason 18 for the $20 super chat. Thank you so much, my man. I appreciate you. And I'm going to get to your other comments too. I just want to get to these super chats, y'all. Let me give Hector his wrench. Shout out to Hector, man, with the $9.99 super chat. Shout out to Hector. Hector just donated to the show. Fly Eagles fly. Yes, sir, Hector. Ah. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Hector with the $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate the support. Thank you for being a loyal subscriber. Thank you for being a loyal listener. Means a lot to me. Means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Donnell Shipley with the $5 super chat. He says, Tone, love the content, bro. Keep up the good work. What you think about all these suckers saying Hurts can't read a blitz? I think it's bogus. You know it's bogus. It is bogus. It's a narrative they want to keep putting out there, but it's all good, though. They're going to learn the hard way. I ain't buying none of it. I'm not buying it because Jalen Hurts even came out today on WIP. He made it very clear that, hey, the reality is he wasn't responsible for the line shifts. He wasn't responsible for the line calls. He wasn't responsible. Jason Kelce was, and that's not an indictment on Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce is a future Hall of Famer. But the reality is Jalen Hurts didn't have autonomy on that offense. Now he does. So now we're going to start to see Jalen Hurts make line calls, make checks, change the play call, especially if he sees a blitzer coming. We're going to see Jalen Hurts make adjustments in real time. They tried to say Jalen Hurts can't read defenses. They tried to say he can't read blitzes. They tried to say that he's just along for the ride, right? They're going to find out the hard way. Trust and believe they're going to find out the hard way. Shout out to my man, Donnell Shipley, with the $5 super chat, y'all. Thank y'all so much, man. Man, y'all really have blessed me. Y'all have blessed me. I can't even fathom this. Cody said, yo, Tone, I forgot to say, I got one of your Apex Predator shirts for my B-Day. Let's go. Let's go. Cody. Thank you, Cody, so much. As a matter of fact, shout out to my man, Cody. And also, you guys, if you haven't already, make sure you bless yourself. Make sure you bless yourself and cop. And make sure you go cop the Apex Predator Jalen Hurts oversized t-shirt on the Chalk It Up Sports merch shop. The link is in the live chat. On top of that, the links are available all over my YouTube channel. Excuse me. Make sure you guys go bless yourself, okay? Excuse me. Make sure you guys go check out the Chalk It Up Sports store. We have the Apex Predator t-shirts up there. They're the oversized style. So, you know, it has that streetwear feel. You feel what I'm saying? You know, that 90s oversized shirt look. It goes for that. So make sure you guys go check that out. It comes in 2 different colorways. It comes in black, like my man Cody just bought for himself, and it also comes in tan, otherwise known as eucalyptus. So go bless yourself for the NFL season. Maybe you bless yourself for the holidays. I'm going to be adding hoodies to that store as well, okay? I'm going to be adding hoodies as well. There's a high demand for hoodies, especially with the weather starting to break. So I know it's going to be fall soon. I know hoodie weather is approaching. I want to make sure I got hoodies on there for you guys, and I want to make sure I got sweatshirts for y'all. So I'm going to make sure I take care of y'all the right way. I'm going to make sure of that. Best believe I'm going to make sure I take care of my people. I'm going to make sure I take care of y'all. So shout out to my man Cody for supporting the show. And shout out to all of y'all, man, for just locking in. Thank y'all so much. Hey, y'all, my Aunt Boogie right here. Remember I told you I got family watching the show, right? Remember I told y'all that? My brother right here, Aunt Boogie. This is my blood brother. Same mom, same dad. Ain't no stepping on this cocaine, you feel me? Ain't no stepping on this. This that uncut, you feel me? Me and Aunt Boogie, same dad, same mom. This that uncut bloodline. This my brother. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my little brother, Aunt Boogie. He said them hoodies gonna be fire when they get them hoodies gonna be fire when they come out. Them hoodies gonna be fire when they come out. I feel that, bro. I feel that. Hey, little bro. Let me ask you this, right? Because you know I trust your style, bro. I trust your swag. Should the logo be on the back or the front? Should the Jalen Hurts graphic be on the front or be on the back of the shirt? Let me ask you. Let me get your perspective, little bro. Should the Jalen Hurts graphic be on the back or be on the front? Infamous said, not gonna lie, the back with a plain front is hard. My little brother gonna say silverback. He got the silverback gorilla. Say less, say less, say less. Say less. Say less. All right. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Infamous said, Tone, make a JD5 when I'm gonna need it. Nah, I don't know, big dog. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know, big dog. I don't know. Oh man. All right, let's get back to the show, y'all. Man, y'all done show so much love these past 15, 20 minutes. Matter of fact, I've been showing love the whole show. Let me try to get back to the topics at hand. Let me try to get back to the topics at hand. And then we'll be able to get this ball rolling here. So, like I said, the Eagles have some interesting matchups. So let's see here. Let's get into it. So, week one, the Philadelphia Eagles face off against the Green Bay Packers. The quarterback is Jordan Love. And their receivers are Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, and Christian Watson. Those are their top receivers. Shep with a $10 super chat. He says, what's up, Tone? What's the news? Just jumped on. So basically, Shep, what's going on is we just got finished. Well, we've been discussing the practice squad and how it looks. We've also been discussing the nature of the Eagles secondary and the upside and how good it can be. Right? We've discussed the potential of the practice squad. We've discussed the potential of the Eagles secondary, and we've also tapped into the Eagles' past secondaries, right? Past players that played for the Philadelphia Eagles and just how bad they were. Or let me put it to you this way: we basically compared the talent of this year's secondary to years past, and we were just putting into perspective that the Philadelphia Eagles are in better shape than we think. And then now we are about to get into some key matchups that the Philadelphia Eagles secondary is going to have to face as it pertains to quarterbacks and receivers from week 1 to week 8. So we just got the week one, and thank you again for the super chat, Shep. Thank you so much for the $10, bro. Thank you. Week 1, Jordan Love at quarterback. At receiver, they got Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, and Christian Watson. Now, Romeo Doubs really came alive in the second half of the season. Romeo Doubs is the clear number 1, and then they got Christian Watson, who's a big body receiver who has a ton of speed. They like Jaden Reed a lot. My man Infamous says, "Are you going to do call-in shows after every game this year?" That's a good question. I think I am going to do call-in shows after the games. I think that'd be cool. I think I may do that. I'm gonna work that out, but I think I'm gonna do that. But Green Bay has a solid receiving core. Like, I'm not even gonna sit here and talk trash. Green Bay has a solid receiving core. Romeo Doubs came alive last year. And also keep this in mind, right? Their whole receiving core is second and third year players. They're all super young. Last year, that receiving core was a bunch of rookies and second year players. That receiving core is pretty solid. Now, obviously, the Eagles' receiving core is better. Is no comparison. But you got to respect their receiving core. They're fast. They're really, really good route runners. And Jordan Love trusts them. But here's the thing, though. When the playoffs started, Jordan Love really relied heavily on Romeo Doubs. Jaden Reed and Christian Watson kind of became non-factors in the playoffs. Romeo Doubs primarily had most of the targets. As a matter of fact, Romeo Doubs Let me make sure I got this right here. Romeo Doubs in the playoffs last year, he went off. He had 10 catches on 12 targets, 234 yards, and 1 touchdown through 2 games, right? And, their tight end, Luke Musgrave, started to come alive as well. He had 6 catches on 7 targets. He had a touchdown in the playoffs. Bo Melton had a touchdown. Dattavion Wicks, Tucker Kraft had a touchdown. But guys like Jaden Reed and Christian Watson, they were non-factors in the playoffs. So those 2 guys are still, elevating their game. But Romeo Doubs, that's the main guy. I feel like if you shut down Romeo Doubs and make those other guys beat you, you should win that game. You should win that game. So moving on, right? Oh, let me get to this. Let me see this. Nina Austin just joining the stream. What's going on, Nina? So today we discussed the practice squad and what that looks like. We also discussed the secondary and how good they can be. We also discussed the Eagles' past secondaries from years past and how we've transitioned so well from those guys. And now we're discussing key matchups through the first 8 weeks of the season as it pertains to our secondary versus opposing quarterbacks and wide receivers. We just went through week 1 with Green Bay. Week 1, you have Jordan Love, who's getting better. Let's not ignore that. Jordan Love is getting better. But me personally, I'm not totally on the Jordan Love train just yet. I'm not totally on that train. He gave you a solid 9-game stretch, carried it over to the playoffs, destroyed the Cowboys, almost made it to the NFC Championship to beat the 49ers, almost did it. So Jordan Love has come a long way, and the Eagles are going to have to pay attention to him. And Romeo Doubs, same thing. He's come a long way. Guys like Jaden Reed and Christian Watson, those are guys you got to pay attention to as well. But I think if you shut down Romeo Doubs and force Jaden Reed and Christian Watson to beat you, the Eagles should be in good shape. Now, going on to week 2. Week 2, the Philadelphia Eagles face off against the Atlanta Falcons. This is interesting. This is going to be interesting here. Week 2, Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons signed Kirk Cousins in the offseason. They have Drake London, who's entering year 3, I believe. They got Kyle Pitts, who's entering, as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think Drake London is entering year 4. I could be wrong, though. Maybe I don't know. But regardless, they got Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney, who they just signed. They gave a ton of money to. And they also have Bijan Robinson at running back, who is used a lot in the running game. I mean, in the passing game. Atlanta's defense just got supercharged. You're right. But I'm just focusing on their receivers right now, Infamous. I'm just focusing on their receivers. And also the Packers got Josh Jacobs. That's somebody that we got to pay attention to. But I don't think Josh Jacobs is the threat in the passing game that Bijan Robinson is. You tell me if you feel differently, though. But Josh Jacobs, he's more of a north-south guy, in my opinion. Great running back, by the way. But I don't think he's the threat in the passing game that Bijan Robinson is. Tell me what your thoughts are about that. But the Falcons, they got Bijan Robinson in the passing game. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney, who they just signed. Now, Darnell Mooney, he's not coming off of his greatest run. He had that 1,000-yard season in year 2, but he hasn't really been the same receiver since then. We'll see what Darnell Mooney can provide them. But Drake London is a year better. Kyle Pitts is a year better. They got better quarterback play now. Bijan Robinson is a year better. He had over 12 or 1,300 yards from scrimmage last year. He had over 400 yards or like damn near 400 yards in the passing game. So you got to worry about that, right? You got to worry about Kyle Pitts. Like Infamous said, Kyle Pitts is the X factor. They need Kyle Pitts to be a threat. So far these past couple years, Kyle Pitts has not really been the player we thought he would be. Good player, talented, but he hasn't been the player we thought. But Bijan Robinson is a threat in the passing game, and we got to watch him. So he's going to give our safeties and our linebackers a long day if they don't do their jobs. My man Shep with a $10 super chat. He says we'll definitely find out tomorrow night for sure, but I think we'll be good. Well, it's next week. It's next Friday, Shep. Next Friday. Not tomorrow, but next Friday. He says we'll definitely find out next Friday for sure, but I think we'll be good. We're a better ball team than we were last year. I agree 100%. I think we are better. We just got to prove it. All right. And Kirk Cousins, we've beaten him before on more than one occasion. But here's the thing about Kirk Cousins. He can play the quarterback position. I know Kirk Cousins has a bad rap, but he knows what he's doing back there. Kirk Cousins can beat you. He can. And Kirk Cousins is not slick. Kirk Cousins is playing for his second franchise that plays in the dome. He's not slick. Kirk Cousins at that point in his career where he want to play in the dome for the rest of his career. He played in the dome in Minnesota, and now he's playing in a dome in Atlanta. So, but regardless, though, Kirk Cousins, he can play the position. And Kirk Cousins can definitely beat you. So don't think Kirk Cousins is just going to lay down. But I am curious to see what kind of player he will be coming off of that ACL injury. I'm very curious to know what his mobility would be like. If the Philadelphia Eagles can hit him a few times, I think he'll get nervous. I think if the Philadelphia Eagles can put I think if they can put hands and feet. Wait, we playing them. Wait, hold on. Wait. We playing Kurt on Sunday night? We playing Kurt on Monday night. It's a wrap. Sorry, y'all. It's a wrap. Infamous said, luckily, y'all playing Cousins on Monday night. Yeah, we are. Well, we should beat them then. But again, Kirk Cousins, new team, new mentality about him, new weapons. Kirk Cousins can beat you if he catch you slipping. So we'll see how it goes down. We'll see. And remember, he beat the Niners on, Monday night? I think the Vikings beat the Niners on Monday night last year. So maybe he's more confident on Monday nights now. We'll see. And then let's get to the Saints. Atlanta's offensive line is pretty good. They're better. Let's get to the Saints in week 3. Week 3, the Eagles face off against the Saints. And their quarterback is Derek Carr. Their receivers are Chris Olave, who's their clear number 1. They also have Rashid Shaheed, who's got us before. And they have Alvin Kamara at running back, who is used a lot in the passing game. They also got Taysom Hill at tight end, who's a utility guy. So, although I think the Saints are food, and I don't fear the Saints at all, Chris Olave is the real deal. He's a legit number 1 receiver, right? He would be a number 2 in Philadelphia. He would probably be a number 3 in Philadelphia, though, because I think Avonte Smith is better than him. But Chris Olave is a number 1 in New Orleans. Rashid Shaheed, Rashid Shaheed would be like a number 3 on most teams, but he's a number 2 in New Orleans. He has a ton of speed. So don't think he won't beat you over the top. And then Alvin Kamara, he's a dynamic running back that's super talented, can be used in the passing game. You got to watch him. So I think the linebackers, those first 3 weeks, the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line and linebackers, they're going to be tested. Those first few weeks, the Eagles linebackers and D-line are going to be tested. You got Josh Jacobs in week 1. You got Bijan Robinson in week 2. And you got Alvin Kamara in week 3. That's not going to be an easy feat. If those running backs get off, it's a wrap. So let's transition to week 4. Week 4, you have Baker Mayfield at quarterback, who beat us in the playoffs. Granted, we beat them, so we split last year. We beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think, in week 3 or week 4 last year, and then they beat us in the playoffs. They have Mike Evans, who comes back on a new deal. They have Chris Godwin, who's a perennial 1,000-yard receiver. And then they have Cade Otton at tight end, who's solid. Not dynamic, not great, but solid. So That's going to be tough sledding for a younger secondary, but you have a guy in CJ Gardner-Johnson who's very familiar with Mike Evans. You have a guy in Darius Slay who's very familiar with Mike Evans. You have experience scattered around with guys who are experienced with that team, especially CJ. He spent a lot of time in the NFC South, and he's played Mike Evans and Chris Godwin a lot. Cade Otton, again, he's solid. Don't sleep on Cade Otton. He can get open. So the linebackers and the safeties are going to have their hands full still. But Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, both of those guys, top-tier talent at the receiver position. Got to watch those guys. And Chris Godwin can be used all over the field. Mike Evans, more so as an outside receiver. For Chris Godwin, he could play in the slot. He could play everywhere. Now, week 5, it's a bye week. The Eagles don't play. But week 6, you have Deshaun Watson at quarterback, right? And also, going back to week 4 real quick with Baker Mayfield, if the Eagles get pressure on him, that's a win. All you got to do is get pressure on him, and you're good. Now, Deshaun Watson, week 6, the Browns, Cleveland Browns, right? Deshaun Watson, that's a home game for us. Amari Cooper, who's their clear-cut number 1. And then they brought in Jerry Jeudy. They got Elijah Moore at the wide receiver position. And they also have David Njoku, a top tight end in this league. David Njoku is a top 10 tight end. He's very, very good, very dangerous. You got to keep your eye on him. The linebackers and the safeties are going to have their hands full with David Njoku, right? Now, here's the question. What will Deshaun Watson be like in week 6? What will his health be like? Because as of right now, he is robbing the Browns blind. Granted, they did restructure his contract today, but how much really, he's still killing them. He is destroying their cap. His entire contract is guaranteed. Because of how he's played and because of his health and how things have gone, you will never see a contract like that ever again. Fanny says the Browns defense is tough. Absolutely. But again, I'm talking about their offense right now. Deshaun Watson, Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, David Njoku, Elijah Moore. I don't trust Jerry Jeudy at all. I don't think Jerry Jeudy is that good. And then Elijah Moore, he's looking to turn the page from his career with the Jets. So, and Elijah Moore is a very good route runner. Very good route runner. And Njoku, hell of a tight end. So the Eagles are going to have to, they're going to have to make sure they bring their A game against Amari Cooper and David Njoku. I think Elijah Moore is better than Jerry Jeudy. Me personally. I think Elijah Moore is better than Jerry Jeudy. Now we get to week 7. Week 7, you have a day off. You face off against the New York Giants. You face off against Daniel Jones and rookie wide receiver Malik Neighbors. Other than Malik Neighbors, the Giants have no weapons. They have nobody out there that you can trust. Nobody out there that's going to threaten you in the slightest. I'm sorry. I'm just not threatened by the Giants in any shape, way, or form. I think Daniel Jones is buns. He is not a good quarterback at all. And I don't know why the Giants are wasting their time with this man, and they should have never paid him. They should have never paid that man. Nonetheless, they did what they did. And now they have Malik Neighbors at wide receiver. I'm not worried about Malik. I'm sorry. I know Malik Neighbors is a good player, especially he was a good player at college at LSU. But I'm not worried about Malik Neighbors with Daniel Jones being a quarterback. I'm not. As a matter of fact, if the Eagles are that worried about Malik Neighbors, you bracket that man and force everybody else to beat you. I'm not worried. I'm sorry. I can't worry about Malik Neighbors when Daniel Jones is the quarterback. I can't. Can't at all. And then we get to week 8, right? And week 8 might just be your toughest opponent in terms of quarterback and wide receiver play. In week 8, the Philadelphia Eagles face off against another AFC North opponent, the Cincinnati Bengals. Their quarterback, Joe Burrow, has Jamar Chase. They also have T. Higgins. Both of those players are looking for money, by the way. So there's still some turbulence going on. By the way, Joe Burrow is coming back from an injury. We'll see where he is, right? And then you got Mike Gesicki, the tight end they brought in. Mike Gesicki took advantage of us last year. Remember Mike Gesicki played for the Patriots last year. In week 1, Mike Gesicki was getting with us. And our linebackers couldn't do nothing about it. Our safeties couldn't do nothing about it last year. So hopefully it's a different narrative. I think they improve at tight end from last year. Again, where is Joe Burrow right now in his recovery? And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. How do y'all feel about Joe Burrow's hair? How do y'all feel about it? Be honest. How do y'all feel about Joe Burrow's hair? I know it's nothing football related, and I know it doesn't. I know it shouldn't mean much, but I don't know, man. Something about that hairdo, something about him dyeing his hair like that, something about it makes me nervous about him. I don't know. Again, I'm reaching. It's just hair. But something about it just makes me question. Just I don't know. Something about it makes me question that where that team is going. Something about it. You know, leave the hair dye for the receivers. Leave the hair dye for the receivers and the tight ends and all those other guys. Yo, Infamous says minus 100,000 aura. Oh man, that's funny. Donald Roan says, where is his head at? That's what I'm saying. Yo, he do look like that. He do like Ellen. That's funny. One of y'all said he looked like Homelander. That is hilarious. Shin says he out here looking like Homelander. That is funny, bro. If y'all don't know who Homelander is from The Boys. Great show, by the way. You're looking for Sasuke says he looks zesty. Fanny Eagles fan says he went from Home Alone to Slim Shady. That's funny, yo. Dang Bergang said he's Joe Cool. He can do whatever he wants. I don't know, man. I don't know. You're right. He can do whatever he wants, but something about it makes me nervous for their season. I could be totally off. I could be reaching. But nonetheless, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Mike Gesicki, Darius Slay, Quinyon Mitchell, Isaiah Rodgers, all those boys, CJ GJ. It's gonna be a hell of a game. It's gonna be a hell of a matchup. But again, what I love about CJ GJ is that he's not going to let any of those guys go into that game and question whether or not they can run with those guys. That's what I love about bringing CJ GJ back. He's going to instill so much confidence in that secondary. He's going to make guys like Reed Blankenship and Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, especially the young guys, right? He's going to make all those young guys believe that they can run with anybody. That's what I love about the CJ GJ effect. He makes everybody believe. So we'll see how it turns out. We'll see how this thing goes. And that's pretty much our show, you guys. And on another show, we'll go from week 9 to week 18. And we will discuss the other receiver matchups and quarterback matchups the Philadelphia Eagles are going to have to deal with going forward. We'll discuss that as well. Infamous 2K says, is CJ coming off of an ACL tear or was that last year? So, to your point, Infamous, last year when CJ GJ last year CJ GJ, he never tore his ACL. What happened was he tore his pectoral muscle. He tore his pec last season when he was with the Lions. CJ tore his pec when he was with the Lions, and he missed pretty much the whole. He played like the first 2 or 3 games, and then he missed like the last. He missed like 7, 8 weeks or something like that, and then he came back for like the final couple games in the season, and he was fully healthy for the playoffs. So CJ had a strong playoff performance with the Lions. And he's taking that momentum into the offseason, into this season. So, and look, all of CJ's injuries over the past couple years have been very strange. When he was with the Eagles in 2022, he had a lacerated kidney, which was weird. And then in 2023 with the Lions, he tore his pec. So a lot of his stuff has been like, internal, upper body related. But he hasn't torn any ACLs, hasn't torn any Achilles or anything like that, which is a good thing. Fanny says Chase Brown is their other wide receiver, Sidney Brown's brother. Chase Brown is a running back. So yeah, that'll be interesting as well. So yeah, overall, you guys, I want to say thank you guys so much for giving me such a great show, such a productive show. This show has been remarkable today. I cannot say it enough. I am so grateful to my man Penn with the super chat, Fresh and Clean with the super chat, Mike Felder with his 2 super chats, Donnell Shipley with his super chats, Roland with the super chats, Vonnie Outside with his super chats, my man Infamous 2K with the massive, gargantuan super chats today. Appreciate him. My man Mac Fripp with the super chats. B Moore, Benjamin Moore, the OG with his super chats as well, celebrating his 20th super chat anniversary. Appreciate him. My man Jason 18 with his super chat. Hector Figueroa with the super chat. Donnell Shipley, once again, he donated twice. Shep donated more than once today. Thank you guys so much for donating to the show. I am so grateful for the support, so grateful for the love. As always, it's been a hell of a stream. And also, shout out to my man Cody, right? Shout out to my man Cody for purchasing his Chalk It Up Sports merch, right? Cody bought the black one. Cody blessed himself with the black one for his birthday. So make sure you guys go lock in and go check out that Chalk It Up merch store and bless yourself. It means a lot to me, right? All of you guys that like super chatting, go buy that merch as well, okay? That means a lot to me too, right? So it comes in 2 colorways, comes in black and comes in tan, otherwise known as eucalyptus. So I really do appreciate you guys for locking in on the show. I appreciate you guys for supporting the content and donating to the show. We're going to be starting our giveaways back up next month, okay? Our giveaways are going to be back in full effect next week in September. And I thank you guys so much for giving me a hell of a show. Thank you guys so much for being engaged. Once again, thank you guys so much for donating to the show. It's been a hell of a 2 hours with you guys. I'm so grateful, man. And I can't thank you enough. On that note, make sure you guys smash that like button, Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show, especially if you're new. And I'm so grateful for all of you guys that watch the show after the fact, right? Many of you guys who maybe can't watch the show in real time, thank you guys so much for watching the show. And I'm so grateful for you guys. Stay humble, stay healthy. Most importantly, stay hungry. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. And you guys were locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game.